So I welcome you all on behalf of today's webinar. So my job is to uh, present how not to prevent the overdilatation, how to prevent the overdilatation injuries. So mostly it's a video presentation, but first of all, I would like to thank you, Dr. Pal sir, for giving this me opportunity. I always call Dr. Pal sir as the centurion of PCNL, as he just completed 10,000 PCNLs in his credit, and also the mastermind of Percon, which is a platform for youngsters like us to learn about A to Z of PCNL. I was just going through the Percon memories of mine in 2018, and I found a very beautiful picture of a great legend, Dr. Alkane sir, and my guru, Dr. Pal sir. And the same, I have in the last webinar, I compared Dr. Pal sir with Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar, and I found a similar photo of Sir Don Bradman and Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar. So, with due respect, I will start my talk, sir. So, I have just highlighted some high risk factors for overdilatation in pugs. So these factors, according to my experience, I have divided it into two groups. Firstly, the kidney anatomy and the surgeon and instrumentation. So most important, which are the high risk factors that one should be aware that in these cases, the overdilatation risk is there and which can lead to serious injuries to the patient. So in kidney anatomy, first we will like to see that when the system is non-dilated or there is a very mild hydronephrosis, yes, it's the most important factor where one can go ahead over dilating the system. Or when the stone is in a calyx with little purchase, that it's in a calyx, only in the calyx, and you have a very little purchase and your glide wire is not able to pass by the stone and go into the pelvis or the ureter. If there is an infundibular stenosis in malrotated kidneys, in hypermobile kidneys, you try to push in the guide rod or the alkanes or the single step dilators. It's a complete bifid system. Again, there is a chance of over dilating the lower pole of the kidney, the pediatric kidneys or the horseshoe kidneys. When it comes to surgeon and instrumentation, yes, trainees in urology are bound to happen. There are mistakes, you learn from your mistakes. So no big deal, but yes, then you have to learn in a good way that how to prevent the injuries. One of the factors is if you have performed less than 100 PCNLs, again, there is a risk of injuries can be caused. If the angles of your CM setting of the angle is wrong, if your improper angle is set and you are conducting your PCNL, poor quality CM image and a lag in the CM exposure and display, again, it's a very important factor, as if there is a lag in the image, when you try to dilate the system, you have already reached the desired point and still on the CM image or on the fluoroscopy, you are looking a image behind. There is a lag in the image which can lead to over dilatation. Poor quality glide wires and dilatation sets, yes, it's important that you should be very much obsessed with performing the procedures with good quality instruments and over enthusiasm. So it's a semi-live video presentation. In the first part, I will like to show how not to over-dilate in PCNL. I will be showing two cases, one in a very non-dilated system and second with a narrow infundibulum. In the second part, I will show the use of a flexible guide catheter in PCNL dilation, how it prevents the trauma during dilatation. So this is a video presentation. I hope it's been seen. So in the first case, we'll take a case of a non-dilated inferior calyx with an inferior calyx and a pelvic cal. It's an CM image. One can easily see that there are two stones, one in the pelvis and one in the inferior calyx. It's an RGP image where you can see very little purchase in the inferior calyx. I've put a Cobra catheter. I have taken a puncture from the inferior calyx and I'm doing a single step dilatation over the Cobra cath. The essence of Cobra cath, I will tell it in the next part. My Cobra cath has easily passed the stone and it is gone into the superior calyx. As there is a very little purchase in this system, you are bound to happen to over dilate, as there is no space while entering into the pelvic ileal system. When you are puncturing the calyx, you have to be very careful that you have to stop your dilatation at the cup of the calyx and don't forcefully enter into it. As Pal sir have already told us that one should be very superficial and not try to over dilate the system, as it will lead to perforations and also it will lead to hematuria or bleeding complications. Now you can see that it's a static image. I have just stopped my dilatation at the level of the calyx. I'm inserting a 24 French Amplatz sheets. So it's a standard PCNL. What I'm conducting here is I have not pushed my dilators or anything beyond the level of the inferior calyx. I have not entered the infundibulum also. So I have just dilated it to the cup of calyx. I have left the dilatation at the point. And once this is done, you can see this dilatation system where the Cobra cath is in place. Over the Cobra cath with a single step dilator and a 24 French Amplatz, I've used to dilate the system. At this point, I will withdraw and I will put a nephroscope. You can see very clear fluid. So this should be the picture while performing a PCNL. I'm removing the stones. Now this is a endoscopic view showing the internal anatomy. It's the infundibulum of the, it is inferior calyx. I've cleared a part of the stones so that I will have some space to go inside. And then I've fragmented the stones. One should not be in hurry to complete the procedure. Take appropriate time. So once it was done, it is a CM image showing a complete clearance with a stent in C2. So the next video, I will show a middle calyx puncture with a very narrow infundibulum. Again, this is a scenario where one can damage the infundibulum and which can again lead to an infundibular stenosis. In this case, there are two stones, one in the middle calyx and one in the pelvis. I placed a glide wire from the inferior calyx also, and now I'm taking a puncture in the middle calyx.
Okay.
The another trick to avoid over dilatation is try to put your wires into the ureter so that there is a proper path which is formed over which you can dilate. So once I have taken the puncture, I will try to put a glide wire into through the narrow infundibulum of the inferior calyx into the ureter. So the wire has walked into the ureter. In this case, as it was a very narrow infundibulum, I did a mini PCNL. I dilated the tract with the metallic dilator of the mini PCNL, and once the tract was dilated, the narrow infundibulum with the mini perc scope was easily seen. So I kept my dilatation. I did not try to enter the infundibulum or not to overdilate, as the stone was then easily seen. Once the stone was seen, we removed it. Now you can see this narrow infundibulum. So there was no big trauma. So the scope easily went into the pelvis and the pelvic stone was also visible from the middle calyx. So this is the technique one should use not to over dilate, because if you try hard, it's going to perforate somewhere and cause injuries. Now, use of Cobra cath in PCNL dilatation. So the Cobra cath, it's a flexible dilator. The advantages are that it can easily negotiate a step in the path of the glide wire. It stabilizes the system as it can be parked in the proximal ureter, less risk of bleeding and useful in non-dilated system. So in this, to show the use of Cobra cath, I will show 3 cases with all 3 solitary kidneys and with non-dilated systems. Here is the RGP. You can see the stone was there in the inferior calyx. The wire was parked in the ureter. So how the Cobra catheter works, actually, I will show you. Now, I'm inserting the Cobra cath over the glide wire. You can see the flexibility of the Cobra cath. So it easily goes inside. I'm trying to insert my Cobra cath. It takes the curve of the glide wire and it has entered into the upper ureter. So this fixes the system very nicely. And in narrow systems where the hydronephrosis is that much, it can help us to reduce the chance of dilatation injuries. So I'm dilating it over the Cobra cath. So this dilatation is done. Now in second case, again, it's a solitary kidney with a non-dilated system. Again, you can see that there is a stone. This is the ureteric catheter. It's a CM image. Now it's a completely non-dilated bifid system with a solitary kidney. You can see the stone. I've taken a puncture from the cup of calyx and I've inserted my wire into the ureter. After the screw dilatation is done, you can see I'm inserting a Cobra cath. Now the Cobra cath again takes the path of the glide wire and goes into the ureter with it. So this relaxes a lot to the surgeon that yes, you have your Cobra cath is there in the ureter and you have a proper way to dilate the system. You can see easily it's a clear fluid coming out. So it's a case 3. So again, here I have taken a puncture here. Again, I'm using a Cobra cath. I'm showing the Cobra cath, how it goes inside. You can see it is going inside with the wire easily. Thank you, sir.